Hello, my mountain adventurers. Welcome to day two of our adventure through the mountains with yarn minis. Okay, so a little clue today. Yes, okay. So I think this is a cross-country ski, but I gotta tell you, this is kind of what made me think about the whole thing. Um, I found this in the building here. Wyatt was here, the guy who owned it previously, who is also my doctor, um, may have left it in here just stored in the building. But this got me thinking about the mountain theme. So yeah, some random cross-country skis. Yes, there are two. No, they don't match. They're in my front window. So there we go. This is day or is part of your hint for day two. I got me thinking about mountains. Cross-country skis got me thinking about mountains. So, and yes, I'm wearing a sheep shirt, and I don't know what every single breed. This might be a Jacob, and this one down here might be Merino. I don't know the rest of them. I know some breeds, but not all. I love the shirt though. I got it locally too. All right, so I've got my little day two bag here that says December 26th, Boxing Day. Happy Boxing Day today. Maybe you're still in the midst of your Christmas celebrations. Maybe you're coming down off of the frenzy that it can often be. So, anyway, I hope you're enjoying this. And let's open day two together. All right, yes, I did cut it open just now. Um, very carefully. You may want to rip. It's up to you. But here is day two. All right. To the screen, this may not look that different, but it is. It's different. Where did I put day one? There we go. It's day two. There goes the ski. Day two is a slight blue color compared to day one. Day one was dyed lighter, and it is hard. My camera here is not absolute best, but it is slightly different color. This is on purpose. Okay, do not worry. This is not the only, I mean, we're gonna have a lot more color going on, so don't worry. It's not gonna be all like pastels or anything. But this one is called Andermatt. There's another little label in there. Andermatt. 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 And if you look at it closely, there's also, there is intentionally little white spots. It's intentional. It's intentional. Yours may be in different locations, but they are there on, for a reason, and we will talk about it a little bit today, maybe more tomorrow. But this is an Andermatt, inspired by Andermatt. And Andermatt is where? I'm going to show you where it is on my handy dandy super up-to-date globe. Meaning not necessarily, because so we were at Mount Everest, which is near India and China, but between Nepal and Tibet. And we're gonna go over here to Europe for some iconic mountains. Switzerland. Andermatt is kind of Switzerland is not a huge country, but it is kind of like right in the middle. Um, right in the middle. Okay. Some iconic European Alp mountains. And I will show you. I was looking up, they have the website for Andermatt, one of their like, it's probably translated from, well, they speak French, German, and like Swiss and Italian, depending where you're on in Switzerland, where you're at in Switzerland. But it's probably translated from German. I think that's mostly their official language. It's their motto is experience the winter. No, experience the variety, experience the winter. So yes, very iconic of winter. Um, and I'm going to share my screen and show you some pictures. This is what made me first think it's okay. There's snow just like in Mount Everest, but here you're not at the top of the world. There's a lot more shadows going on. So that's the little bit of blue you're getting. You're not at the literal top of the world anymore. And then this is one right from their website. What do you think of it? Some skiing. So this is an iconic place to ski. Um, Here we go. And let's watch just a real quick video and enjoy some skiing and Andermatt. Because I don't know about you, I'm not the best skier. It's a little nerve-wracking for me and less relaxing. But I'm gonna play just real quick a little bit of this. You see the valley, there's lots of snow. This is in winter. You see the blue tinge. So it's just like you're down in the valley. There's lots of snow everywhere, but you're not at the top of the world. And you see like the blue shadowed twins. And if I was a good skier, this would be super relaxing. You're just gliding down the mountain, and then you turn and you see the little village. And it's like an iconic Swiss village with the ski chalets and everything. So I'm not going to show this person's whole video, but I can put links in the comments so you can see the whole thing. If you like some skiing and you're slightly better at it than I, this is definitely one of the places to go. Very iconic. He's just shushing down the mountain. So lovely. I would be screaming. That's okay. All right, so I'll stop there. Um, okay. And but I have been to this place. I just didn't go in the winter time. I went in June of 2002, and I just found the pictures today. I was looking for it, but I was just looking for the pictures today. Okay, sorry, I got interrupted, and I've been trying to do these like with no breaks, but I don't just think that's not going to happen. So I'm just going to have to go ahead and like join things together and see how this works if I get interrupted. Oh, so I mentioned I went to Andermatt in June of 2002. So it was in the summer. I didn't go for skiing. I'm also not necessarily, as I said, a great skier. But what I am, and the reason why I went there is because I'm a motorcyclist. And this was, 21 and a half years ago. But and I was sort of newish to motorcycling. And why did I get into it? Just I wanted to. I lived in Texas at the time, and I was just like, I'm going to learn how to ride a motorcycle. And then a year later, I'm like, I'm going to take a trip in the Alps and ride a rented motorcycle because that's me. Like, I just decided to do it. And so like that first year, I had got like 17,000 miles riding in. So I was okay riding in the Alps, even on a rented motorcycle, even though I was sort of newish to motorcycling. But yes, and I went alone. I was swinging single. And so this was like one of my first like real stops. So it's what I wanted to have Andermatt on the list because it's an iconic ski location, but also because hey, I was there. And so if you'll give me the grace to just show you like a couple of pictures, and then maybe later on in the series, I might talk a little bit more about it, but I'll try not to take forever. And then I will talk about the piece that I have knit up. So here, let me show you. Um, Here we go. A couple of pictures, just a couple. Promise I won't go crazy. Um, I'm trying to get this bigger. Yes, me and my wonderful techie skills. All right, this is the hotel restaurant that I stayed at. Koenig, which is like, I think it means king, right? Hotel 3, just one of the places you stayed at. I think that was, oh no, maybe this was just the place I met this guy at. No, I was not dating some guy. I just, who's a Canadian, was writing. I'll show you little bit later. And we decided to meet in Andermatt, and we had like, and you can see all the motorcycles because this is what people do in the summer. And this is where we were meeting to like eat lunch and stuff. And then this is the rented motorcycle that I was riding. It was purple. It was a BMW, which I wasn't used to riding, and it had a post cylinders right in front of your feet. And I was like, oh, that make my feet hot. But whatever. It had the giant spam cans on the back, which is those big metal cans, and those things are really great for keeping your stuff dry. But I looked a little ridiculous, I thought, but like, of course, I didn't care. But it was like an older BMW too. So it was like, and I'm just with the giant spam cans on the side. And I rented it in Germany and rode it down the Autobahn to meet this dude and start riding in the mountains in Andermatt. I think I'm saying that right, Andermatt. This is me. I think he probably took that picture just because like it was a little harder to do like selfies and stuff then. But this is, me in the mountains taking a nice iconic picture. I think that was near Andermatt. This is the roads near Andermatt. This is why I went there, so I could ride twisty roads because I love it. I'm a little less practiced now on it just because of the kids, but that's why I went there. And there's me in front of the iconic mountains. I'm sure this is very close to Andermatt, but I'm not sure which mountain is behind me. But you can see the snow there with lots more shadows, not the same as Mount Everest. It was also summertime, so a little bit less snow. There's a glacier, I'm sure somewhere near there. This is, that's me 21 and a half years ago. um, and this is the dude that I was meeting and writing. No, I was not dating him. This was not a date. It was like totally platonic. And I will tell you a story later, probably, about how he completely annoyed me. Some Canadian dude, I think his name was Alex or whatever. We were just like, hey, we're both riding around the Alps. Let's happen to ride together. It's a little safer. Anyway. Oh, okay. This is me, and it's probably near Andermatt, but I'm not really sure which mountain. Like, it's hard. These pictures are really old, and I just found them this morning. I rode up the mountainside on a motorcycle next to this like bicyclist team from Denmark. I think they were Danish or someplace close to Denmark. And this is very popular there. And they will take like a bus and ride all their bicycles up the side of a mountain. And this is at the top. Like the one reason why the guy I was riding with was totally annoying me was like he asked them to move so he could take a picture in front of this, which we can barely read. And I was like, oh my God, that's so rude. These people just bicycled with their legs up the side of this mountain, and you're asking them to get up? I was like, no, I want them to take a picture with me because I just used a motor to get up the side of this mountain, and they used their legs. I mean, they didn't run, they used bicycles, but still, they used their legs. I am so proud of them. I don't want a picture with them. So I don't know their names. And they spoke English because a lot of, they could have been Swedish. I don't know, some Danish or Norwegian or Swedish or something, and a lot of them do speak English. So I asked them to be in my picture on purpose. I was like, guys, would you please sit down and relax and please be in my picture? I would love to if you were in my picture. And they were excited about that. So anyway, this is the cows in Andermatt because this is down in the valley. And I was like, oh my God, they're cows just like you would imagine, the Swiss cows with the bells. And there's a tiny little, like, not that high definition video I'm going to show you. Watch. Let's see. Here we go. Oh, can I zoom it in? Can you see that any better? You just hear this all over the valley whenever you stop. It's just like, oh my God, iconic Switzerland in the summertime. And I thought that was the cutest. Hopefully you saw that, not so tiny, but you saw the picture. So there's just a little taste of what I remember from more than 20 years ago from my trip. So let me share my screen one more time here and I will show you, if you haven't already by email seen that I was sending you a bundle of pattern suggestions. Like obviously I'm writing up this pattern, I'm showing you what I'm doing, but there's DK, fingering, knit, crochet suggestions in here to use. I won't go over all of them right here, and I might even add more to it. But that I've got lots of suggestions for you to use these kits on. Sometimes if you just want to use part of it, or if you just want to add some other stuff, if I'm not already, I'll send you this link to that Ravelry bundle and talk to you individually about what you want to do. So you can see what I'm doing here to kind of see how it knits up. Of course, you do or don't have to use this pattern. All right, so this is what I have knit up, and I have not finished knitting my mini in day 2 yet. Okay, I didn't finish it. So this is not yet 20 grams of day 2 knit up. You can see the color difference there a little bit better in this lighting here, I guess. And you might just barely be able to see, probably not with this camera. I can see it with my eyes, but maybe not with this camera. The little white spots that are intentional in there. It represents snow. See, we start with all the snow, and now we're going to snow with a little bit of shadow. And the white spots are intentional. And we can talk about it more as it's a little easier to see them. But this is how I'm knitting up the pattern 2 at a time, 2 pieces at a time. Notice they are not connected because it's like 2 at a time socks. I'm knitting a piece and then knitting a piece that's matching that's exactly the same. And so I might as well do those same row at the same time. And then I will, at the end, join them together. Okay, that's the pattern that I am knitting. So what I do to kind of make this easier is I mark with my little stitch markers that I gave you the right side for me on each one of them. Okay, I'm careful not to knit across and knit them together. I'm knitting one from the inside of my ball and the other one from the outside of my ball. And they, so that I know, I also like make some notes so that I know what row I'm on, but you can also maybe use like one of those uh, markers that helps you so you know when you have an increased row or not. Like you could try and do that. Because you want to change colors when your right side is facing you, okay? And you don't want, so that when you join everything all together, you will have that, and this is, since this is garter, there's going to be a clear color change side and then a not as clear color change side. So, but I do find this easier to do 2 at a time, as long as you don't have too many strings dangling. And then let me show you one more tip. Now, normally I take this out of the ball when I am knitting because I pull from the center, and then when I got to pull from the outside, it's got to roll around. But when you do that, sometimes you get it like all twisted, you see the twisted? But then I put it back inside this little footy stocking, which I bought a box of them, but you can also get them when you're trying on shoes. And if I put it in there, it will allow me to untwist if, because I'm pulling from the inside and the outside, if they have twisted around each other. So all I got to do is stick the little ball in there and then let it untwist. And that kind of clears things up a little bit. So I hope you guys have enjoyed day 1 and day 2. I'll come back with day 3, and I promise it's not going to be all like super pale colors. Okay, we just started with a little bit paler. And I hope to see you tomorrow for day 3. Happy Boxing Day. Bye.